Okay, welcome back everybody. I'm sorry for that break in the live coverage. We're experiencing some cell phone issues, cell phone network coverage issues here, but now we're back. All of our players have now thrown their second shots. Both Jenny and Heidi find themselves on top of that hill, Jenny being closest to the pin, while both Lykke and Kristin hit some of these guardian trees on the left side of the tunnel and are now left with about 25-meter approaches to the basket from where they are, just below the crest of this hill. They were unable to go all the way to the top, unfortunately. So now they are looking to salvage par from where they are now. Kristin approaches to inside circle 1 from where she was. Lykke is looking to move up next. We're trailing, looking where Lykke is currently, preparing to shoot. Throw her approach to the basket, her third shot. From a very awkward footing on that hillside. Her disc is actually standing upright between the hill and one branch of that small tree. So her footing is slippery at best. Lykke wanted to make sure that her footing is okay with the other players, because you cannot have a supporting point closer to the basket than where your lie is. Her stance was indeed legal, and she threw that shot to the right side of the basket. It is not very far, but she looks to be really unhappy to not make that putt. And we'll see where our players are next. It seems like either Jenny or Kristin is gonna go next. Oh, Heidi is putting now. Heidi from just inside circle 1's edge throws that putt to the left side chains, does not make the putt stay, and she is going to have to settle for a par here on hole number 14.
Are you there?
Yeah. So Lykke for par from about 6 meters out from between those tree branches. She does exactly that. That was a beautiful putt by Lykke Sandvik to score her par here on hole number 14. Jenny is up next. Jenny scores a birdie 3 on this hole, catching one on Kristin again. So we again are tied for the lead after Kristin hopefully makes this putt. Yep, she does. Easy work. And Heidi is tapping in for her par 4 here on hole number 14. So after 14 holes being played in the final round of the Dynamic Discs Tyyni 2019 presented by Latitude 64, we are in a situation where Jenni Eskelinen finds herself in the lead with a one-stroke advantage over Kristin Tattar, who again is leading Lykke Sandvik in third place with 2 strokes, with Heidi Laine on fourth place with a score of 14 over par, trailing the lead by 4 shots and trading a place on the podium by 1 shot, battling out for the third position together with Lykke currently. There are still more holes to play. Anything can happen, and none of these holes is easy. So there's still a lot of action, a lot of excitement left ahead of us before we are able to crown the champion of the FPO for Tyyni 2019 here in Sipoo, Finland. We're now up another hill. Hole 15 is yet another downhill hole of 115 meters to the long pin position. So down slightly to the right. There is no real danger in this hole except going short on either left or right side from the tee. As long as you reach that clearing, then most of that danger is gone. This downhill hole is another one where the fairway is sloping slightly from left to right, with the basket being to the right of these players when they look at it from the tee. There is a small gallery already forming up down the hill. There is OB long on this hole, but unless there is a very errant drive, these players should not have to worry about that. Jenni and Heidi are standing on the tee, looking down, looking at the gallery forming, and looking at the chase card, who are still trying to finish this hole. So we're waiting for the backup to clear, so our lead card ladies will be able to throw down their tee shots here on hole number 15 at Sibbe Disc Golf Course. This is the final round of the Dynamic Disc Tyyni 2019 presented by Latitude 64. This is the Ladies Pro Open, the FPO lead card live coverage that you're watching. Remember that to check out the scores, the hole-by-hole plays of the other ladies battling in this division, just go on to udisclive.com and check out the action from there. Our chase card players are now walking towards the putting green downhill here on hole 15, and once they have holed out here, it is the turn for our lead ladies to begin taking down hole 15. Go check out udisclive.com to follow the action there. We have had some people change positions in the chase card and the third card. So there has been quite a lot of movement in the lower cards. Go check out the current scoreboard as well as the hole-by-hole plays of all those cards at udisclive.com. I think that was Maris Perendi down at the putting green who just missed on the low right side of the basket from about 15 meters out. Katka Bodova now, about 4 meters away. Cans in her putt. I think that was Maya tapping in from about 2 meters. And we finally have Antonia Farber and Maris Perendi clearing and holing out here on hole number 15. Easy work for Antonia and easy work for Maris. Yes, the pathway is clear. The players are now walking to their next tee, leaving the fairway open for our lead ladies to step on the tee for their opening shots, opening drives here on hole 15. Jenny Eskelinen is first up on the box. And he throws in a mid-range from the right side. Gets a little bit of tree action, but fades towards the left. She's pin high and about 20-25 meters left of the basket. Kristin Tattar up next. Kristin goes left, catches the top limb of that pine tree. She should be able to fight her way through there. I think she is in the open, but about 40 meters away from the basket. Haiti is the third on the tee. Haiti throws in a very nice looking shot. It's going directly towards the basket, but it's going long, keeps trailing long, lands in and just rolls OB on the far side. Next up is Sandvik on the box. Throws a mid-range shot. A nice looking Anheuser starts trailing back towards the left. She is beautifully pin high, just about circle one's edge. That was a very well executed drive by her. Really, really awesome job. We're moving down. It seems Haiti's shot might have gone OB long, just as I was saying that it should not be a problem. But her disc caught the wind and just started gliding for longer than she possibly would have wanted. The players were uncertain whether it bounced out of bounds or not. I did see it land inbound, but the skip from there I could not see from the tee anymore, so we'll just have to wait and see when we get down to the green grassy area below this hill. We have 3 more holes to play after this, and the race is on for the first podium place, as well as silver and bronze medal finishes. So Kristin did fight her way through, so she has an open look at the basket from about 15 meters. She throws in a harp on a nice sidearm line. And she's parked inside maybe 1 or 2 meters from the basket. That was a very good upshot. We're walking towards the lies of the other ladies. We know Luke is just inside circle 1. Tyyni is looking at a 20-meter putt from just the edge of circle 2. And Heidi is going to check whether or not her disc is over. And she confirms that the disc did slide OB after landing inbound at the OB line.
It's OB, so I thought
So it seems like Heidi will be the next one to throw from that OB line. She's taking her 1 meter relief in. She lays up just underneath the basket. Beautifully done. Tyyni with a nice Anheuser putt from just outside the edge of circle 2. She's parked for her par 3. So both Tyyni and Kristina, with this 1-stroke difference, are now putting for their pars from a tapping distance. Luca scores a nice looking birdie from 6 meters out. She will have the box as we go on to the tee pad of hole number 16, and she will also gain a stroke on the card here on hole 15. Heidi taps in for her bogey 4 after that OB, and Kristin for her par. You can check out the live scoring at udisclive.com. Again, I'm keeping score in my head, so there might be mistakes in what I am reporting, but please correct me because you have the advantage of using udisclive.com. Tyyni still holds a 1-stroke lead over Kristin on this hold. Luke claws 1 back, so she is now only 2 strokes away from the lead, 1 trailing Kristin by 1, and Heidi, after that bogey, is now giving a 3-stroke advantage to Luke for that 3rd place. First up on the tee is Luke Sandvik. Throws a nice looking hyzer on this 100-meter par 3 that has OB on the right. She lands in the middle of the fairway, about 20 meters short of the basket. Tyyni is up next. There's OB on the right, there's OB on the left, and there's OB along. The basket is in the corner. 100 meters long, Jenny throws in a hyzer. It starts fading to the left. She is safe. She is a short left of the basket with still about 25 or so meters to go. Kristin is up next. Kristin throws a powerful hyzer shot over those guardian trees, just goes in front of the basket, lands safely inbounds to within circle one. That was a beautiful drive. Heidi throws also another power hyzer. She just manages to dodge that tree and finds herself inbounds, short, but still inbounds and safe. Without that small kick to that birch tree, she would have been putting for birdie from just inside circle two, but unfortunately that kick stole the speed out of her disc, and therefore she is looking at about a 30 to 35 meter upshot from where she landed. The good news is that she is safe, as are all of our ladies currently here in the lead card. This is a pure 100 meter, about 350 foot hyzer hole, but with the OB so close to the basket on the right side, this is definitely not a gimme birdie hole to any of the players in here. Battling it out today here at the final round of Tyyni 2019. It seems my depth vision was off. Heidi is actually inside circle two, just on the edge, putting from about 19 meters or so. She goes for a layup underneath the basket, playing it safe, playing steady, playing smart. And Lukka from about 15 meters away. She lays up as well. There is OB right behind the basket, so putting from this direction is a risky proposition if your putt is off. Jenny from about that same distance. She decides to lay up as well. She still holds the lead currently, so there's no need for her to run it and risk taking that OB stroke. Kristin misses the basket on the right side and trails OB. And has to settle for a bogey 4 after that missed putt going OB here on hole number 16 at Sibbe Disc Golf Course in Sipoo, Finland. Lukka taps in for her par, as do the rest of the ladies in our lead card. Kristin gives away a stroke to Jenny now, so Jenny stretches her lead to 2 strokes to the nearest competitor with 2 more holes to play. The race is getting tight and exciting. So Jenny holds now a 2-stroke lead over Kristin Tattar and Lykke Sandvik, who are tied for second place, trailing by those 2 strokes I just mentioned. Heidi holds solo 4th place, 5 strokes from the lead and 3 strokes from that second place finish. So there's a tie for second. Excuse me, no, there is not. Udisc. Go check out the scores on Udisc Live. I'm doing this in my head, so I think I have calculated the player scores wrong from the previous hole. I believe there is still, yes, a 2-stroke lead between our leader Jenny Eskelinen and the 2 ladies trailing her, Lykke Sandvik and Kristin Tattar, trailing by 2 strokes. Hole number 17, one of the signature holes here at the Sandvik course, is a par 4, 180 meters long, where you first throw slightly downhill to an open field, and then you need to navigate a mandatory on the left side of the birch trees you see in front of the fairway, and the basket is up on a hill behind those birch trees. So after the mandatory there is still about a 40-meter upshot left, but the basket is located at the side of the hill, so there is always the possibility and chance for some very unpleasant rollaways. The mandatory is marked with that big red arrow. And you need to be going on the left side of it. There is also OB left, which is slightly narrow at the beginning of the hole and then widens up as we move further away. So Luca will be the first one on the tee. Luca throws a nice looking turnover line. It's trailing left, landing to a good spot in the middle of the fairway, about 110 meters from the tee. Tyyni is up next. Tyyni goes a little bit too much to the right. The disc starts trailing back left. Is left a little pinched on the right side considering that Mando. Distance-wise it is about the same as what Luca was just throwing. Heidi throws a crush right directly at the Mando. She gets a left fade and a kick, and she is in the optimal position to tackle that Mando with her second shot. That was an excellent shot. Kristin throws a slightly more left pointing line, but with her power, that is such an amazing crush. Goodness me, that was a long shot. She's almost at the height of that Mando. If I remember correctly from last year, the Mando is should be about 130 meters away from the tee, or something along those lines, just to give you an idea of how long that drive was. That was about a 120, so like a 400-foot drive from Kristin Tattar, and showcases the power that she has. That was a very nice looking. Both of these two previous drives here on hole 17 were some extremely joyful crushes to watch and witness. We're walking down the fairway, hole number 17, with one more hole to play after this. It's still anyone's game, especially for the top three. And with the power Heidi has, she still has the chance to make her move to reach that podium place, or why not even catch the lead. Hole 18, the next one we're going to play, is a very treacherous hole here in the Sandvik disc golf course in FPO, Finland, where we'll talk about it a bit more as we walk to the tee pad after the ladies are finished with hole 17. But let's now get back to the action here on 17. Jenny is asking how far the OB on the left goes, because she's apparently attempting to throw a sweeping sky anhyzer to clear the Mando and get as close to the basket as possible. Oh. After thinking about that shot for a while, she's lining up. Yeah, she was thinking about throwing the sidearm for a while, but decides to go with that Sky Annie. She clears the Mando and is left just outside circle 2 from the basket, but as you can see from here, the hillside on the right side long of that basket is actually relatively steep, so approach to that basket is not easy. The players need to be careful and have real good distance control to be safe. Luke up next. She's lining the sidearm. Oh, she decides to go Anheuser as well. So the low sweeping Anheuser line, and she is just inside the 20-meter circle 2. That was a good shot, maybe a little bit low. If she had a bit more height to that one, it might have had to carry to take her a little bit closer for a possible birdie. But still, it's interesting to see how these players are all looking for their sidearms, and still it's nearly windless here, but there's a small air movement from left to right, and I'm thinking that is the reason why the Anheuser seems to be the more appealing option for these ladies today. Heidi also chooses to go with the Anheuser. She throws the inside line, does not catch anything, and if that did not go long, she should be inside about 5 meters putting for a birdie 3. That was a very nice up by Heidi Laine. So Kristin is up next. They're questioning whether she missed the Mando or not. I mean, if Jenny did. Kristin goes sidearm. Goes a little bit deep. She should be inside circle 2 or just between circle 1 and circle 2 on the left short side of the basket. We are approaching the top of the hill where the basket is at, and as you already saw from before, there is a steep drop both to long right of the basket as well as immediately to the back of that basket. So Jenny from 25 meters out throws her approach just underneath the basket for a tap in par. Luca from just inside circle 2. The wind seems to be picking up a little here on top of this hill. It is now trailing from right to left. And therefore Luca decides to just lay up to about 5 meters away from the basket. Kristin finds herself with a 7-meter putt to that downhill. No correction, that's only 6 meters, so she is about at the same distance as Luca was, while Heidi's attempting her birdie putt from down the hill, just at circle's edge. Circle's edge uphill. She lays up just underneath the basket.
Yeah.
Kristen scores a very nice looking putt. That was a birdie 3 for Kristen here on hole 17 after a very nicely done putt. Luca taps in, well, putts in for her par from a similar distance. Jenny has about 4 meters ahead of her. And finally, Heidi taps in for her par 4. We're moving on to the last hole, hole number 18, the last hole here in Sibbe Disc Golf Course, the last hole of the tournament. And we are having a bit of a walk to reach the tee pad of hole number 18. But hole number 18 is what I would say the signature hole. It is a temporary hole only for the Tyyni competition, and it's an exciting hole to be finished on by our players. Excuse the pun. It's a water hole. It has a total length of a little over 120 meters. You're throwing over the water already from the get-go, from the tee. The water is naturally OB, and there is also OB left as well as OB long. By the latest measurements, clearing the water, just the water, will require a 90 to 95 meter shot, and to be able to reach the grassy area on the other side of the OB line is going to require something a little more than 100. To go directly across to the basket will require about a 130 meter drive, and still it is completely open. We are at a beach, which means that the wind, which is now starting to pick up, will and can be a factor for the drives of these players on that last hole. Some very impressive digits have been scored on that hole in the previous years. We're going to see how our ladies will tackle it. There is a safe play. It is only par 3. I also forgot to mention that, so it is a fairly long par 3. And there is a safer route to just go along that very skinny and tight inbounds area along the side of the water, but that will require some good accuracy and good touch so that you can get your drives to land exactly there, because what we do have is OB also on the left side. Antonia Farber from the chase card just threw her drive that faded out a little too early, and it ended up OB left in those high reefs that are almost as sharp as knives. So you don't want to go look for your discs there. Thank you to our crazy volunteers here at Tyyni 2019 who do and go retrieve and save the discs. Some of our players might have lost or might end up losing in those reefs, or either also in that water. We're now looking at the hole from the OB long line directly towards the tee. Katka Badova also throws her, I think, lefty Anheuser shot slightly OB on the left side. Maris Perendi is now up on the tee. She was playing in the lead card yesterday. Was unfortunately unable to maintain that position on the lead card today, thanks to some pretty stellar play by Heidi Laine, who we've seen play very well today. Maris gets a nice skip from the OB back inbounds. She's in the open and looking at about an 80-meter shot left to that peninsula green. That last drive, unfortunately, also is OB on the left side. This is a very tricky hole for our players. We are following the action of both our chase card and our lead card from our camera position here at the corner of hole 18. So we're about 70, 80 meters in front of the pin at the corner where the OB line starts doglegging towards the right. The chase card ladies are looking for those discs that escaped to those knife reeds on the left side of the fairway to the right of the picture currently. They're trying to locate the discs to determine where they went out of bounds, so they will be able to mark their lies correctly to reach the basket. The wind is picking up. Currently it seems that our players are facing a headwind slightly left to right. It is not very strong yet, but it is gusty, so it picks up and then dies down irregularly. And we'll therefore have to wait and see how our players are going to attack this final hole here on the final round of the Dynamic Discs Tyyni 2019 presented by Latitude 64. If you want to know how the ladies are doing, if you want to know how tight the battle actually is, go check out the play-by-play scores from udisclive.com. Just go to the internet, go to udisclive.com, and you will be able to follow individual players, individual groups, the entire scoreboard, and just see play-by-play, hole-by-hole scoring for this event, not only for all of the cards here at the FPO field, but also later today or for the MPO field, who has already started their final round here at Sibbe Disc Golf Course. We will be joining you back on that live coverage in a few hours from now, when the lead card for the Men Pro Open will begin their final round, teeing off at 3:10 local time here in Sipoo, Finland. It seems that our chase card players have reached the group decision on where the players went out of bounds. So Katka Bodova is the first to throw. She's looking to throw a lefty hyzer to reach the pin. She is safe on the grass inside circle 1, looking at a 10-meter putt to a headwind. Up next is Antonia Farber. Antonia throws an anhyzer out of bounds long from just about circle 2's edge where it went over. That's an unlucky break for her. That was a nice up from our actually have to check out who was playing in the second card. I think that is Maija Laitinen from Finland who threw that shot. Our chase card players are now walking to the green to finish their final round here on hole 18 at Sandvik Disc Golf Course. Antonia will be taking her 1 meter relief from the edge of the out of bounds area. She's just inside circle 2 after going OB twice here on hole 18. She attempts a jump putt. She is inside 2 meters off the basket to finish off her round. I think that was Maija from just inside the circle, missing on the right side. She still has about 4 meters to the basket. Katka Badova from a similar spot, just inside circle 1. She hits the cage. She cannot put that one in after going OB already once on the left side of the fairway, so she will be also looking at either a bogey or a double bogey. Maris Perendi, that is her par, her third shot, so she's picking up strokes on the card. Maija is finishing her round, Antonia finishes her round with a tap in, so does Katka Bodova. So our chase card is now finished. To see how they did on that last hole, go to udisclive.com and check out their scores as we turn our attention to the tee pad of hole 18 here at the Sandvik Disc Golf Course, the infamous water hole where we're watching Kristin, who threw the birdie on that previous hole. First on the box. With her power, she should be able to throw all the way over the water. The wind is a slight left to right headwind, so that would help an Anheuser shot. She is throwing a hyzer. She's going out of bounds on the left side. She went about 5 meters deep off the OB line on that left side. Next up is Sandvik. Luke is attempting to go over the water with a flat shot. She lands in the water. Unlucky for her. That was just a little bit too low and didn't have enough of that fade to carry her back inbounds to safety. Eskelinen next up on the tee. Jenny throws a more conservative line, trying to hug the line, but her shot is also low. She is landing right next to where Lykke just did. So all 3 of the players who have thrown their drives so far find themselves in the out of bounds area. This is a difficult hole for the FPO field. Heidi Laine, she has the height. She has the height that the other ladies were lacking, but even that height, she just does not make it. She's 1 meter short of that OB line. So all 4 players find themselves OB after their drives here on hole 18. So this does not give an edge to any of the players just yet. Please bear in mind that Jenni still holds a one-stroke lead over Kristin, who threw her shot OB, having the box here on hole 18, but Jenni was unable to take advantage of that mishap. So all of our players are still tied with the same scores as they were coming into this hole. Jenni leading Kristin by 1, who in turn is leading Lykke by 1, who is leading on Heidi by 3. So Heidi still has 5 more strokes ahead of her if she wants to catch first place, but we will see how this battle will turn out to be. Heidi only moves forward because she chose that straight line. She only goes forward about 10 to 15 meters, so she still has a long drive, but this time from the soft sand ahead of her. She's going over the water again. She has the height, but does she get the skip? She gets the skip and she is safe. Just centimeters inbounds from that OB short line. Our lead card group is determining where Lykke and Jenni went out next. So it seems that Kristin is closest to the pin after their drives, even though all players did go out of bounds on that particular hole and with that particular shot. Even though the players are experiencing a headwind, it seems like the wind pushed all of their discs down ever so slightly. So now Lykke is lining up her next shot. I think they have marked her lie about 20 meters, 25 meters in front of the tee pad. So that means she still has to cross about 80 meters to go over the water. And the wind is picking up, the left to right headwind. As I said, it is gusty, so right now it's slightly higher than it was before, but it's probably slowing down for the next players. Lykke stalls in and she is left 20 centimeters short of that OB line. She was trying to play it safe. She was just trying to play a gentle hyzer over that OB area, but she is unable to do that. So she will have to move her lie forward with maybe a couple of more feet, and she's attempting that shot again. Now she has the height, but the direction is wrong again. Unfortunately, she is still short of that OB line, having gone OB 3 times already. Lykke is now waiting to throw her third shot from that same position. Let's see if she's still trying to bite off that distance and close to the basket, or if she is trying to go with a wider line, a narrower line, to find herself just safely in bounds. Yep, now she's playing it safe, and now she finds herself in bounds. She's about 1 meter in from the OB line after going OB already 3 times on this hole. This last hole is such a strange hole. And when I say strange, I mean everything can still happen and nothing is certain until the players have finished playing this hole and therefore finished playing their tournament. Jenni is attempting to go over the water with her shot, and she finds herself just outside circle 1 after that beautiful shot from where she just went OB. This puts all the pressure on Kristin now. They've both gone OB once Jenny is putting from just about circle's edge for her bogey 4. So that means that Kristen will have to go closer.
I think about second stick. Between, that's where Kristen is. Or maybe, yeah.
The players and the caddies are trying to locate Kristen's disc to see where she went out of bounds. She has marked her lie and now she is looking at that approach as the wind is picking up again. So Kristen is up next, attempting her third shot, counting the OB penalty stroke. She's going for the pin. She's slightly short, gets caught in the sand about 13, 14 meters away from the pin, but she's still putting for her 4. So now it all comes down to these final putts between the ladies. So Jenny is still in the lead by 1 stroke, if I remember correctly. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe Jenny is still leading Kristen by 1 stroke. Luke is unfortunately now fallen down in the scoreboard after those 3 OB strokes. As Luke is throwing her upshot to the basket. Luke opts to go sidearm, lands well within the circle. She has only about 4 meters left. Heidi is lining up her shot next. She landed just in bounds with her 3rd shot. So she will take her 1 meter relief to acquire a legal stance from where she's at right now and throw her 4th shot at the basket from here. Yeah, that is a very nice up. She's only about 2 meters away from the basket now. So to determine the champion of today, it all comes down to the putting green. Jenny has 11, maybe 12 meters ahead of her, whereas Kristen is at a similar distance, but Kristen is putting from the sand, whereas Jenny is putting from the grass. It seems that Jenny is the further one out, since she's going first. Jenny attempts a jumper, lands about 3 meters long off the basket. She goes low right, and now it's up to Kristen. If she can make this, that will force a playoff with Jenny. So all the excitement is on here on hole 18. Kristen is looking to do a step putt from 12 meters out. The wind is picking up, so for her it will be a left to right crosswind. She just misses on the right side. Both Jenny and Kristin have now thrown an equal amount of shots on this hole, which means that there is still a one stroke separating them, with Jenni being in the lead. Lykke clears out her tournament on this final hole with a solid putt. Kristin is next up furthest from the tee. She cans it in for her double bogey 5 on this hole. Now this is Jenni Eskelinen for the win. And she does it. Jenni wins the FPO field of Tyyni 2019 here at the Sibbe Disc Golf Course as Heidi finally clears her
2019 Women's Champion Jenni Eskelinen.
So our tournament director Gabriel Särkelä is congratulating Jenni on her win. We have Kristin on second place, losing to Jenni by 1 stroke only after this excitement that we've just witnessed here on hole number 18. With the mishap with Lykke, it means that Heidi Laine climbs up to third place and gets a podium place here with a 3-stroke margin to the winner, and therefore also a 2-stroke margin to second place. But we will have 2 Finnish ladies in the podium, with Kristin Tattar from Estonia taking second place between them. The players are finally counting their scores, making sure everything is okay, everything is legal, and after they've returned the scorecards to the TDs, Tyyni 2019 for the FPO field is over for this year. Thank you everybody so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us for this exciting last round today. And remember that we will be coming back to you with the lead card of the MPO division, teeing off at 3:10 local time here in Sipoo, Finland at the Sibbe Disc Golf Course. We will be trying to begin this live coverage about 5 minutes before their tee off, so please make sure to join us then. And in the meantime, look how the rest of the MPO field is doing. They are battling it out now here at Sibbe, and you can follow that action on udisclive.com. So thank you very much for joining us here, and congratulations to Jenni. We're gonna wait until they get their scores done, and then we're gonna go see if we can get a word or two from Jenni. The players are tallying their scores, having seemingly completed that. That last hole was very brutal for Lykke, but she shows true character, and she acts exactly like the professional she is in not letting it go too much into her head. She is still looking like she's enjoyed this final round. She has played extremely well the entire weekend, so congratulations for her on that one as well. She did an excellent job, not to mention our champion as well as our podium finishers on the FPO card here. Great battle all out, and it was all down to the last hole until we could determine a winner, which is very exciting to see. Awesome job. Yeah. We're gonna let the ladies turn in their scorecards. We're gonna let the ladies return their scorecards, and Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, just reserved an interview audience with our champion later on, so be sure to check with Terry later to see how Jenni feels about her win today. And since we don't want to keep Jenni waiting for too long, we're gonna let you have Terry do the interview instead of me. He's much better at interviews anyway. So we're just gonna be signing off from the FPO field today here at the SIB Disc Golf Course. My name is Tuomas Suominen, and it's been my pleasure to do the commentary for you. And I hope to see most of you, or actually I hope to see all of you, if not even more, back for the MPO coverage later today. So from us here at SIB, it's bye-bye and see you later.